Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today. Wow. Yep. This is beautiful. We've got our 5 of Cups in its reversal and our 4 of Cups in its reversal. A lot of work we see right now, like a lot of this work right now we see in relationality to navigating energetic choice. Now, why are we seeing this right now? This is some very heavy energy that we've been experiencing. A lot of this, right? I gotta articulate this because a lot of this work that we've had to navigate, I want you to give yourself credit. If you've been feeling this right now, if you've been feeling the weight, right, the pull of the emotions, if you've also been navigating that fact that often the emotions live in the past to a certain extent. They're always a few seconds behind us, right? Honoring that space, honoring how you energetically feel, right? And being able to recognize the sacredness of emotions. What happens when we are able to navigate emotions? When we're able to observe our emotions and hold them sacred, we are able to honor the enormity of them, and we're able to carry them forward with intentionality, right? And that's heavy because, again, what did we articulate? What was some of that energetic challenge that we were experiencing over the last few days? Sometimes it feels, right? Sometimes the emotions want to pull us in one direction and the higher self wants to pull us in the other, right? Why do we often sometimes feel like this? Because, again, the emotions often come into that space, right? What do the emotions sometimes say? I don't want to feel like this, right? I don't want to feel like this. It's too much to energetically carry, right? And that's why a lot of this work in terms of navigating the emotions right now, I keep hearing a lot of this work that we're experiencing is what do I do with this, right? What do we do when we feel a lot of emotionality and we don't know what to do with it? It becomes far too easy in those moments to try to make our emotions another person's problem, right? We've all done that in the past. We've all had those moments being I feel a lot of something. I don't know what to do with it. Here, you take it, right? We push it off like a hot potato to one another, right? But that ability of doing so, right? And that's why we see even now, if you're experiencing that from those around you, right? Someone unloading their emotions on you right now, but not really having a lot of clarity as to what to do with them. That would often be indicative of someone that's moving more from the egoic self, right? Because the egoic self is I don't like this. It feels uncomfortable. The ego is very much like the angry toddler. It wants to feel comfortable at all times. It wants to feel good at all times, which is why I even now there's too much of an inclination right now for this type of energy for someone to do something that is emotionally self-indulgent with the trying to say that it's healing. And I got to tell you right now, if you're feeling like that, I guarantee you, usually the thing that's healing is not the thing that feels good. Okay? It might feel good to the ego, and the ego can try to convince you, be wouldn't it be good for your healing journey to do? No, it wouldn't. Let me be your cosmic mom for a second and say, if the healing feels too good, that in itself, following our bliss does not mean we follow something into a space that it feels good for us, right? It's that moment. What do we describe bliss to be? Bliss is not what feels good for the energetic ego. It's the ellipse between what feels good up here and what feels good down here. It is the higher self and the ego that find that point and say, on this we can agree. That's what bliss is. Bliss is not just doing what feels good, right? So it's not easy. It's not easy when you do that. It's not easy when you do that. It's hard. It's like threading a needle, right? But we see even now that a lot of that work in doing so, recognizing and identifying that. What do we do with the emotions outside of that space? We hold them energetically sacred, right? We hold them energetically sacred. And in that space of holding something energetically sacred, we find the ability to carry something forward, right? And so that's why I see, like, this is why for some of those partnerships that are happening right now, of all times, the partnerships that are happening now are the warrior partnerships. They're the Aries partnerships, because this is the energy that moves towards each other with conviction. They're not doing it because it's easy. They're not doing it because their heart's in it. Because I guarantee that if you're moving towards something you can't see, your heart's not in it. How is your heart going to be in something that you can't see? Like, their hearts are back there going, "Come back!" Right? Like, but that ability of doing so and holding the emotions that are in the past that pull forward, right? This is the energy and separation that finds themselves, because again, they're not allowing the emotions to call them back. They're moving in that space of knowing and saying, my heart is not there. My heart is that way. My heart is moving forward, right? Because that is the energy that has learned the difference between separating the emotions, right? The emotions we feel towards what is us, right? The emotions that we feel around us versus the things that are in the heart of us. So a lot of that work that we're identifying here, this is the energy that, again, finds the capacity to feel greater in that space, right? Because this is the energy that repositions something in such a way that they're able to recognize and understand and let their heart guide them, even while experiencing the expansion point of the emotions from the past in the process, right? So that's why some of this energy here feels so difficult, because it is literally like what we just experienced with this full moon in Cancer feels like the combination point between an eclipse and a retrograde at the same time, right? It's that expansiveness point that feels like, it's like it feels like a lot of the emotions grow. But what happens when we don't become reactive to our emotions and allow ourselves to feel them and to move with intentionality? It creates that ability of being able to see with clarity. So we see even now, like, that's a lot of that energy building forth into those energetic connections right now, holding it incredibly sacred along the way. And look at the masculine and feminine energy right now in this modality. Look how look at this, right? Looking at the past, recognizing and honoring the space of the past, but driving forward with that sense of affirmation and resiliency as it relates to what it is that they're looking for moving forward. Now, for masculine and feminine energy right now that is coming into divine union, this is why we see for a lot of this energy right now coming into divine union, so much of this work that we're identifying, it feels, I want to say, if you are coming into divine union right now and you're feeling like a lot of that like grief that you're releasing, right? If you're feeling a lot of this feeling, like I gotta say, I have to articulate, I feel like some of the hardest, like the most difficult energy I'm seeing right now has to do in the realm of the energy coming into divine union right now. Because a lot of that energy that we're experiencing is feeling like a little bit of that vibration of quietude as it relates to coming through a maturation process. Why do we see this right now? Because when you energetically, and the best way I can describe what I'm seeing is when and I want to remind you, if you've ever been a teenager, okay? You remember that feeling of isolation that you often feel as a teenager? Why do you feel like isolation when you're a teenager? Because your perception feels like it changes from those around you. You're not seeing something the same way, right? And every time our perception changes, it's very congruous to often have these experiences that feel very isolating, right? So like, because you're like, oh no, I see something in a way that others don't. And again, the fallacy of teenagers is they go, I'm the only one. I'm the only one this has ever happened to. Like that's the thing. This has never happened before in all of human history. I am the only one this has ever happened to. No, right? Again, we are both precious and we are not special. We are all absolutely precious and none of us are special. That is why we are precious, right? So that ability of doing so, like that recognition point, we see even now that for some of the energy coming deeper into divine union, feeling that sense of energetic isolation that often comes from building into healthy partnership, right? It's a little bit of that, and that's why this is hard. This is why these are Capricorn partnerships, because again, the problem with that like sacredness, that quietude, is like with the Aries and retrograde. It's like it's a little quiet in here. Like it creates a little bit, of that like, woo, it creates a little bit of that like, and it has to do with the Mars retrograde, right? It's like that feeling like the shoe's about to drop, stuff like that. And again, if you're feeling like that and you typically don't, I want to just tell you again, I want you to go find every Aries you've ever met and hug them and say, you feel like this every day of your life. And the Aries is going to say, yes. What are you talking about? Yeah, we always feel like that. Like there's always, yeah, the feeling like there's a army on the other side of the hill and it's just going to come here at any moment. Like, yes, like that's it. And every time I say this right now during this retrograde, and that's why all the Aries energy is chill. The Aries is like, no, we always feel like this, right? Right? No, no, not every, that's a special Aries thing, right? So a lot of that feeling here, right? Building into that sense of energetic fortitude. So what's coming on the other side of this Cancer full moon? Fortitude, like a lot of that stabilization, right? While for a lot of this energy, and even here, like the beauty that's happening for some of that energy coming into divine union, it's not the feeling that you're having that sense of isolation. It's the feeling that you have counterpart that's sharing it with you, right? It's the dual maturation of energy working through that same process together. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, I just got to say that like something that's happening here for the energy deep within divine union, I mean, this is that same energetic feeling. But I have to say, like a lot of this right now is this is the existential energy being channeled into action. Yeah, this is like a lot of that. That's a lot. This is this is motivation I'm seeing. Like this is the energy that's been in that point of like feeling the strength of an emotion. And now it's like I see that emotion motivating oneself forward. Center card for our 5-card spread for today. What do we got here? Oh my goodness gracious. Everybody stay calm. I don't want to hear it. Okay. We are not afraid of the Tower card. Okay. Everybody chill out because I know how you guys get. I know how you guys get when you see the Tower card, but I need to tell you again that like it's that same, it is the Aries retrograde, what we were just talking about, right? Because a lot of that feeling, right? Like a lot of that feeling of build, like, and this is why we and I have to stress this right now because this is the thing. This is often, and what's interesting about this, we're going to talk about this a lot too in our Tower class. I mean, in our Hermit class, because there's a lot of connectivity points, in fact, also in relationality to the Hermit card and the Tower card. Like there's a lot of different connection points here. One of the things that we see, and we talk a lot about this when we see the Tower card. I know everybody gets in that space. They're like, no, the Tower, and they want to run away from it. But like, when we recognize like parts of the self that feel like they stand in the way of our own understanding, there are those moments that we can actually welcome Tower energy within ourselves, because it's that moment that, like, again, the ability to recognize what feels like it hinders us, what moves us further away from alignment of the self, right? It's a complicated card. And so I see that, like, one of the reasons that we see that the Tower card is here, and this is what's so difficult about it, is, and I need to stress this, when you're moving with intentionality, whatever comes ahead of you is something that you're ready for, right? This is literally a lot of the work that we're experiencing right now with the Aries energy, because again, when you're building into that that construct of having energetic courage, right? You don't move in such a capacity, and this is what we often talk about. When you are moving from a place of fear, you will often run smack dab into the thing that you are afraid of. Like, you ever notice that? Like, that ability of doing so, right? Like, that ability of doing so. And this is why we talk a lot about, like, like that sense or that space of moving towards things with intentionality. Because often when we try to avoid something, we just immediately, like, have you ever done that? Like, you're trying to avoid something and then boom, like, like it's keeping one's own, like, perspective, keeping one's own intentionality. Often the way we avoid Tower moments is not being energetically afraid of a Tower moment, right? we build into that state of energetic integrity. So that's why I see even now with the centering of this Tower card in our spread today, it has a lot to do with the recognition of moving with energetic integrity. And that's hard, right? That's always a difficult journey, right? It's not one, and again, we stumble, we fall along that pathwork, right? You know, you'll find yourself, you'll find your heart, and you'll break your energetic heart in the process. But that's why we see even now, and this is why I keep telling you guys that for the energy right now in separation, when I say that the energy in separation is moving towards one another and it feels like they're doing shadow work, this is what I mean. Like, this is what I mean, because what we're effectively seeing is this is the energy that says, oh yeah, I'm walking straight to what could be, like, this is the energy that says, I know that, and again, masculine and feminine, look how much in alignment these energies are, right? This is the energy that doesn't move towards each other from a delusional space. This isn't the energy that goes, oh, it's going to be fine. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to manifest. Everything's going to be perfect now. No. This is the energy that recognizing that healing stinks. It's hard. It's rough. It's rough on them streets. Okay? It's rough on them streets. But that's why we do that work, right? Because for the masculine, for the feminine energy, this is the feminine energy that says, hey, in order to move towards what I know is for me, I have to move potentially into the area that I know that that's the place that I got hurt. Right? I need to know that even as I navigate forward, it's not that everything I find there is going to be perfect. It's that I am going to be able to utilize the discernment, the gifts of the past to help see what feels like it is in alignment to me versus what is not. Right? This is the energy that says, in order to move towards my manifestation goals, it's not just enough to wish. Because a manifestation goal is a wish if you don't move towards it. This is the energy that says, in order to move towards what I know is for me, I have to move back into the area of the thing, of the same place that energetically hurt me. I have to move back into that space of being able to trust again. And that's not the feminine that says I have to trust blindly. This is the feminine that says I work in the capacity of doing so, recognizing and identifying, utilizing that past as a gift to help with discernment to see what is in alignment to me versus what needs to be energetically avoided. While for masculine energy right now, we see that this is a lot of the masculine energy that works in that same capacity. This is a lot of the masculine energy that says effectively, when I'm doing that work, I have to put myself forward before the feminine. And it is the most vulnerable work that I do to show feminine my authenticity. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to encounter feminines that don't like what they see. But this is what the masculine say in that modality. Rejection is an illusion. Because why would I want to move? Why would I want to create a false sense of self to make everyone like me? Because I can do that. And then I have to keep that up the entire time that I know a person. I have to keep that up. I have to create that false sense of self. I never build authentically into an energetic connection. So this is the energy that says, in order to find what I want, I need to do the thing that I am energetically afraid to do in the process, right? And this is, again, don't mistake my words. This doesn't mean that we run full tilt into our fear, but we navigate the obstacle within the self that is preventing us from moving into alignment with our manifestation goals, right? While for masculine and feminine, and again, we find that dark. This is how we embrace that energetic fear, and we don't embrace it by moving in the direction of it. We embrace it by seeing it, identifying what can be worked with versus what is unenergetically helpful, right? And this is how we heal, right? Because this is the energy that says, I'm not going to be my own energetic obstacle. I'm not going to be my own tower and being able to avoid what is for me, because it's by that identification point, right, that we remove that energetic obstacle. But it's hard in the process, right? While for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, this is why for a lot of that energy coming into divine union right now, a lot of this work that we see, this is the energy that feels a lot of those changes. And here's the thing about it. I gotta tell you right now, this is why I see so much of that energy moving into divine union, releasing grief right now. Why is the energy moving into divine union, releasing grief? Because if these are experiences or modalities where they're experiencing another, being energetically reactive to partnership, it's not just the fact that the energy perceives it. It's that for a lot of the energy experiencing this, these Capricorn partnerships I see that are coming deeper into divine union, they understand it. This is the energy that feels the full enormity of another person not seeing something in the way that they see it, and feeling like, you know how debilitating it can feel. Like, this is the problem. You can't give someone wisdom, right? You can't give someone wisdom. That's why it's called wisdom is sacred knowledge, because it is a pain it is the knowledge that we gain through energetic pain. It's those moments that are hard to see, that you only have to experience, right? This is what we identify with wisdom. So for a lot of this energy, having these moments of someone not having the perception that you do, particularly as it relates to relationship, but even worse, being like, I remember when I felt like that. Like this is the energy going, I remember when I felt like that. Crap. Like, because you understand, like, this is the energy that understands that when you have a perception on something, you can't change another person's perspective of it. You can hope, you can clarify, you can try to articulate, but like there's a lot of this energy that says, like, that understands. And this is why we talk a lot about wisdom, which is like you can lead the energetic horse to water, but you can't get them to swim, because it's that sense of saying that, again, when we're building into that space, this is the energy that says, I hope the day comes that you see something the way that I do. But they also feel the full enormity of recognizing and saying to another, I know that day may not come, right? Like, there's energy that I see that goes through those struggle points. And this is why we say, like, this is why we wish we send that gift to one another. Like, this is also the energy that, like, works in that space of putting compassionate distance between something. Because a lot of that sense, like, this is the energy that isn't just reactive to their emotions. This is the energy coming into divine union that holds space towards the emotions and navigates that. And again, sees those changes around them as they move deeper into divine union. But they also accept that is part and parcel for the journey of finding ourselves, right? While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, this is a lot of work right now. This is a lot of that energetic activation to a certain extent. I feel like there's a lot of energy right now in that space of feeling motivated, working in that space. And I want to say, even now, like, a lot of that, like, it feels I keep on describing it this way. You know how we talked about the fact that, like, a lot of the energy right now deep within divine union has been like, what do I do with this? Like, what do I do with this? Like, there's a lot of that feeling of, like, navigating emotions in such a way. Like, this is why the energy deep within divine union has been feeling existential. This is the energy that's going, I know, like, and being able to find a space that feels like it's energetically productive instead of energetically debilitating, right? Fourth and fifth card in our 5-card spread for today is, we've got here our Magician in its reversal and Temperance, right? Not being, listen to me, please. Gosh, please listen to me. Not being reactive right now is key. And that's the thing, because I just see even now, the ability to feel reactive right now is at an all-time high. Let me just tell you, like, the ability, like, with this combination, we've already got the next card coming out. The ability to just, like I told you, what happens, like, you've got, like, it's like powder keg kind of energy. Like, you've got a lot of this, like, energy here where it's like, when you've got something and you like, you're like, what do I do with this? You can either go inwards, you can find that pathwork, right? But it's just as easy, like, and that's the thing I see even now, like, everyone across the frequencies is dealing potentially with energy that isn't, like, it's like, it's saying to me, hot potato energy. Like, it's hot potato energy. Like, dealing a lot with, like, the sense of, again, when we're not in that place of being able to be introspective, it can feel a lot like, and that's that sense, like having to navigate like others' emotions that are like, I don't want to carry this. This isn't mine. This, you take, like a lot of that kind of feeling, right? Like more of that, like more of that snappiness, if you will, more of that projecting, you know? But this is what we mean when we talk about projecting, right? Because what do we identify the meaning of projecting is? I don't want to hold this. Here, you take it. I don't want to feel this. Here, it's you, right? Like it's a lot of that like tag your it kind of energy, right? So that moment or that modality, if you're experiencing those moments where people are being more snappy right now, you know, being more reactive, just give someone like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of that, which is like saying like stand clear upon one's own boundaries and remember that sometimes compassion is healthy boundaries. Compassion can be stepping backwards and helping someone effectively energetically see something, especially if they're articulating or feeling an emotion that they can't necessarily. I need to point out, the healthy emotions are directions. Healthy emotions are directions. We don't just give each other emotions and say, I'm mad, I'm sad, right? We introspect on them. We say, I'm mad. Why am I mad? This is why I'm mad. Okay, what can we do to fix that? This is what would be helpful. Okay, I'm not going to tell someone I'm mad. I'm going to say, listen, this is how I'm feeling, and this is the internal algebra that I've done in terms of how to fix it. So I see even now, like one of the difficulties is like, I just hear a lot of this energy saying, like do your homework kind of energy here. Like, you know, it's a little bit like, and that's why I see even now, there's either energy right now during this, there's either energy right now deep within this Cancer full moon that was doing some like really heavy homework, right? Like some really heavy homework, while potentially simultaneously having to navigate circumstances of others who are like trying to get other people to do their homework for them. Like it's a little bit of like, I don't want to, you do this, I can't do that. Like, you know, like a lot of that, you know? So again, just please don't be reactive right now. Just please don't be focused. Don't be reactive. Like, please don't be reactive. So we've got our Four of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Tower card. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through. And this is the thing, man. This is the problem. Like the thing with this energy right now. And I'm telling you, we got double sevens out on the table. We got Seven of Wands, with the Seven of Swords. The reason that this, I'm telling you right now, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say like, why is this Cancer full moon being so like we've had other Cancer full moons before. It is because it's happening during the Mars retrograde. It feels like the combination force of a retrograde and an eclipse happening at the same time, right? Because we had that double void moon. So we had like the pullback. It's like big wave energy. You know, it's like, woo, it's like, here comes a big Huna, right? It's like that pullback and then that feeling, right? And a lot of emotionality potentially towards things that happened in the past. Because again, where do the emotions live? The emotions live in the past, right? Where does logic live? Logic lives in the future. So we see even now, like a lot of, that's why I keep saying that for these partnerships that are coming together now, when there's this like, you know, like this big kahuna energy of this like giant like wave of emotions as it relates to the past occurring, to be able to build into fortitude and let it set your intentionality in terms of what you know is for you. Strongest partnerships. You mark my words right now. The partnerships that happen between now and the closing out of this Mars retrograde cycle, just stay out of their way. Just stay out of their way, because they're warriors. It's like a lot of this, and it's beautiful. I got to tell you, I know it's big, but it's also beautiful, you know? Because this is the energy that says, when no courage was there, I had to make it myself, right? While for masculine and feminine energy right now, coming into divine union, so much of this energy here, this is why I see that this is the Capricorn partnerships that are moving deeper into divine union right now, which is why it's all this old house energy, which is why don't you dare tell somebody right now that just worked to fix something up, that's shoddy work. You're gonna lose friends real quickly doing that to a Capricorn. If you're gonna lose friends real quickly doing that to a Capricorn. Bringing forth something into the tangible space and someone saying that, You did that because this is the energy that's been working on that for like, again, they're saying like the last 7 months, which I believe again puts us to that, the eclipse energy back there. So again, that same energy being like, what did you like? This is the energy that says like correct someone once and then moves forward to a certain extent, because this is the energy that says, you know, it might be damaged. It might need work, but it is something that we've been building, right? It's something that we've been creating. So a lot of that work here, it's like a lot of this like energetic fixer upper kind of energy. While for masculine and feminine right now, deep within divine union, a lot of this energy deep within divine union. This is like, you know, like this is like, I want to say, how do I explain this? A lot of it, it feels to me like, and this is why I see that like there's so much of this energy right now deep within divine union that is contemplative upon the past. Because often when we have certain path work, the further we get from something, the more we can see it. So I keep seeing that there's a lot of energy right now that does that. It feels very scorpionic. There's something scorpionic that's happening right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, because it's the ability to look back upon something with a better vantage point and see something with greater clarity. And that's heavy, right? That's heavy work, right? But it's also, it feels to me like it's setting the intention even further of the energy doing so as it relates to the direction that they're heading towards. Continuing to get clarification between our Tower card in combination with this Magician card in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now. We got two cards here. Knight of Pentacles in its reversal and our Eight of Pentacles in its upright. Now this is all that Capricorn energy. It's a weird time. It's a weird Capricorn. I'm going to tell you right now. It's a weird Capricorn season. Like here's the thing. Like a lot of this energy that we're experiencing right now is very incongruous. It's very incongruous to Capricorn season. Everything is out of place. You know, here's the thing, and I got to stress this. The Capricorn energy doesn't like this a bit. Capricorn's like, this is a mess. And a lot of that, okay, this is why it's happening. Okay, because usually the Capricorn season feels more grounded because typically we're used to Pluto being in Capricorn, right? So like, again, getting back to business, like a lot of that, like it feels very grounding. One of the reasons that this Capricorn season may be hitting a little different than the Capricorn seasons that you're used to is that Capricorn is no longer in Pluto. Capricorn is in Aquarius. So the stability that you are usually looking for, the thing that you would usually look to ground you in things that make you feel unstable, Capricorn's not there. Like it's not there. Right? You're like, where did it go? Because the stability is also not where you would typically find it, right? Because again, Pluto and Aquarius, like I got to tell you right now, Pluto and Capricorn, liked little boxes, wants to put everything in a little box. Be like, look, there's a little box. I made a box for this. I made a box for that. I made a box for this. Pluto and Aquarius is like, what if we just got rid of the whole box idea? Pluto and Aquarius is like, what if we just scrap the box idea? So there's a lot of this energy here. And that's why, again, if you're having a lot of feelings right now, having something energetically complicated and being like, I don't know where to put this, it doesn't fit in a box. Welcome to Pluto in Aquarius. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Magician card in its reversal in combination with our Temperance card in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our Three of Cups in its upright. And this is why I see even now, I just got to tell you, one of the things that I'm seeing here, that is really important has to do with and I gotta stress this because this is really, and this is the beauty that we keep seeing that keeps on coming through as it relates to Pluto and Aquarius, It has a lot to, this is very much the similar message that keeps on coming through in terms of, again, honoring healthy path work, right? And a lot of it, I got to tell you, like a lot of this is like they're saying like the reconsideration on a manifestation goal. What's the point of having a manifestation goal if in the reaching for it you become something that you should not be, or something that isn't in alignment to you, right? Like a lot of that work in recognizing that, I feel like there's a lot of, and I got to keep on stressing this, there's a lot of this work that feels like it is amplified, specifically and particularly in the recognition point of, you know, like how unique, and I got to stress this, how unique everyone's individual journeys are, you know? And I keep on getting that the beauty of a lot of this compassion that we're seeing right now has to do in the fact that love, like the true amplification of love, is honoring another's path, right? And that's why we see even now what is happening for a lot of this energy and separation. This is the energy that comes towards each other in a state when we are already in a space where we honor each other's path and we look at love as honoring each other's paths. Then when we approach one another, we do so in a space of navigating the sacredness of that energetic experience, right? We work in that space of honoring that sacredness. And via that sacredness, this is the energy that recognizes themselves in that specific position, because this is the energy that amplifies and articulates and says, better for us to try to come into alignment when we first meet. Better to make sure that we desire the same things, because the worst thing that we could do for one another is move us off of our energetic alignment. The worst thing we could do for one another is make us step backwards and not being able to honor our own particular journeys. So this is why we see that this is the energy that navigates towards each other like warriors, because they don't just come towards each other with the desire to be in connection with someone. What do they say when they meet each other? Where are you going? Where do you want to go? Are we traveling in the same direction, right? While for masculine and feminine energy right now, right? And this is the energy that says, like, and for feminine, this is the energy saying, let the wounds of the past become the points of discernment going forward. And what does masculine say? Let my authenticity guide me to the energy that is in alignment to me. While for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, a lot of this energy that we see right now coming into divine union, I just keep recognizing and identifying. This is the energy that is, how do I put this best? This is the energy that if they feel a moment of stillness, if they feel that quietude that often enters as one moves deeper into an energetic connection, this is the energy that says, right, they start to feel that energetic longing for those that see things from the same perception that they do, right? This is often what happens during maturation processes. This is often why, again, when we are going through a maturation process, we typically start moving in the directionality of energy that sees something the way that we do, perceives something in the way that we do, right? Because that ability of doing so, again, honoring path work, right? This is the energy that doesn't say, listen, I know you don't see something that I do, but I'm just going to drag you along for that journey, right? This is the energy that says, listen, and this is why they keep the door open, right? They keep the energetic light on. They say, like, listen, may the day come. I hope that if there's something that they're leaving behind as they move deeper into energetic connection because another cannot see something the way that they themselves see it, what does that energy say? I hope to see you potentially again someday, right? And that's that moment of saying, I hope the pathwork of maturation reaches the point where you see something in the same way, right? Because that's not the energy that feels like they're closing doors. That's the energy that says they're moving forward on journeys and they're honoring the space or capacity that another might join them someday and having that same perspective, right? This is Capricorn energy moving deeper in divine union. They're not going to go out of the way to try to convince someone. They're going to continue to build and say, I hope you reach that moment, same at some point down the line, right? But it's bittersweet, right? Because this is the energy that, again, does not move towards one another for effect, expecting change outside of partnership. They move towards one another because they're energetically affected. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, making it work. I just see a lot of this energy right now, making it work. And that's why we see even now that for a lot of that energy, this period of time, the last few weeks, working through a lot of that contemplation, a lot of breakthroughs that I'm seeing that are happening right now for the energy deep within divine union, because something that they've been like, I want to say like internally wrestling with, right? Being like, I think I know how to take something negative and move it into a positive space, right? Because when we are looking at the world with the eyes of, again, compassion, we never lose hope. We look at what we have and say, what can we do with it to make it energetically better? Continuing to get clarification here between our double seven energy of our 7 of wands in combination with our 7 of swords in its upright. Oh, one card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Ace of Pentacles in its reversal. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. When is it ever ideal? When is it ever energetically ideal? We do not find ideal circumstances. We create them. Ideal, we do not find ideal circumstances. We create them. We are our ideal. The ability to look at the world and to say, it is not ideal, but I can fix that. I can help with that, right? Like that ability of doing so. This is how, right? And this is why, again, this is why for a lot of this energy right now in separation, these are the warrior partnerships that are coming together, because this is the energy that looks outside of themselves and says, it's like I said, it's rough on those streets. It's not ideal, right? But this is the energy that says, I'm not going to let something as small as my past interrupt what I know is for me. I'm not going to let something small as someone having hurt me destroy my trust. I'm not going to let, and this is the energy that, again, that thing that they say is small is everything, right? This is the energy that says, I'm not going to allow the cynicism. I'm not going to allow a feeling of losing energetic hope, because when we lose hope, so it will be, right? So it will be. This is the energy that says, I know that if I feel something in my heart, I'm not the only one, right? This is the energy that says that their manifestation is both precious because it is theirs and not exceptional because we all, like this is the energy that says, I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. And this conviction of the heart is what guides them forwards in the destination that they're seeking. And for feminine, it is the feminine that says, I refuse to become. If this is the feminine that experienced those wounds of trust, this is the feminine that says, I refuse to stop trusting, because then I become the thing that hurt me, right? This is the feminine that says, I refuse to become in the nature of someone that damaged my energetic trust, because that is the blade that cuts twice. And for the masculine, this is the masculine that says, I could have anyone I want, but what's the point of having anyone I want if I'm putting up a fake sense of self in the process? I never actually have healthy union when I put that false sense of self up, because it never feels like I'm building into the context of an authentic connection. I spend all of my energy trying to maintain that false sense of self. So this is the masculine that says, I recognize that every time I experience rejection from feminine, rejection is an illusion. It brings me closer to the energy that is energetically for me. So both of these energies doing that work, taking all, and I see the energy being like, how are you so calm at a time like this? Being like, it's easy. It just takes everything, right? The energy going, easy. It just takes everything, right? And for a lot of this energy right now, same energy across the frequencies for masculine and feminine coming deeper into divine union. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. This is the energy that says, it may not be perfect, but it's ours. It may not be perfect, but it's ours. But this is the energy that says, when we claim something, when we make something truly ours, we always are perfecting it. So do you see how that is the partnership becomes energetically perfect? This is why these are Capricorn partnerships, because this is the energy that says, it may not be perfect, but it's mine. And that's the energy that when Capricorn puts their energy and effort into something, it is the energy of the Capricorn that perfects it, right? So this is really beautiful, because this is the energy that builds into that sense of conviction. Now for masculine and feminine, deep within divine union, I got a lot of this I got a lot of this aha kind of energy. I don't know why it's coming. It's new. It's like there's some new energy here. I got to see where it's coming from. There's a little bit of this there's a little bit of this idea energy I keep seeing here to a certain extent. Like it feels like a lot of this and that's what I keep seeing here. It's like it feels, and this is why, like when we're feeling frustrated, we don't put our head down, we put our head up. Because sometimes, and this is why I keep seeing it feels a little where I want to know where Mercury is right now, because there's like something about this where it's like the head down, like head up, which is like creating that sense of insight through an energetic hurdle, right? Like there's a lot of that energy that I'm seeing here to a certain extent. Continuing to get clarification between our 7 of Swords in combination with our 8 of Pentacles. So there's progress here. And our Knight of Pentacles in its reversal. There's like a lot of this like make it work kind of energy here. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our King of Swords in its reversal. So let's and here's the thing about this, man. Like we got to talk about this to a certain extent, because how do I explain this correctly? So much of this, so much of this here, and I got to describe this. Like this is actually feeling incredibly, this is a very Aquarian read that we're having here, because it's very much in the space of, I want to say, it's like pragmatic. It's a very pragmatic read. Like there's something very important about this, which is again, and this is what's so beautiful for the energy and separation, because, it's like, it's saying to me that like the gift we give one another is pragmatic in the sense that, thank you. Is in the sense that making it work. Like I just keep hearing making it work. Like when we are navigating circumstances, and when I see this is energy doing this in separation towards our manifestation goals, which is again, when we leave ourselves, when we build into the sense of wanting, like when we build into a true manifestation, this is why when we get really focused, this is why, like when we get really focused on the way something needs to be, we cloud our eyes from the possibilities of what could be, right? Because we become so driven, so focused on an outcome that we fail to see, right, the full perspective of possibilities around us. So I feel like a lot of this energy right now is building in separation in that space of, again, and this is why I'm telling you even now that if these are the energies in separation that are coming towards one another and experiencing the volatility of the Cancer full moon, right? What were the emotions doing like during that Cancer full moon? They were crying about the past, right? Because that's what emotions do. They're not going to cry. Like they're going, like this was a lot of that pullback. And I told you that wave, which is like, the past, like, and a lot of that emotion with, again, the clarity. This is what I'm telling you, like the pullback, the clarity of being able to see something from the past with clarity, feeling a lot of emotions about it, like whoosh, right? But then but still driving forward, right? Recognizing the difference between the peel of the emotions and not rejecting. This is why it's different for everyone. Not rejecting what the emotions are trying to say, listening, actively listening to the emotions, right? But then working through them and building into the pathwork of conviction as it relates to what they know is for them. This is where the balance point comes. And this is why I keep saying to you guys, I don't hear anyone say, should I follow the emotions? Like, this is why it's different for everyone right now, because what they're saying is, again, the way that you articulate between the emotions that move you in the direction that you desire to be is the space or place where, again, the higher self and the ego can agree, right? It's the energetic, we are the energetic compromise point between those two spaces. On this we can agree. That is us. That is us. That is the energy that says when I come into energetic alignment with what my energetic ego desires and my higher self does, right? Cool. That way, right? And even if the emotions are like, "Rah!" You're like, okay, cool, but no, but that way, right? Like, and the emotions are going, "Rah!" But it's like, yes, okay, I honor the space that you have. I honor the things that you feel. But again, that way, right? We don't allow like a heavy message that we see right now that's happening as a result of this moon, which is beautiful, which is we hold space for the emotions that are sacred, but we don't allow them to move us off of our energetic trajectory, right? And that's heavy lifting. But this is why, and that's why, again, sometimes healing is not easy. Again, and that's why I see even now there's too much of this energy that I see even now being like, I'm doing this for my healing, and being like, does it really appease your ego to do it? It's probably not your healing. Like, that's probably not the healing. If your ego is like, let's do it. Why? Because it'll feel good for your healing journey. No, baby, that's not healing. No. No. Don't get confused. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Eight of Pentacles in its upright, and again, this is the problem with it here. Okay, this is what we're talking about, and the Knight of Pentacles in its reversal, right, and our Three of Cups in its upright. one card to clarify. Strength card, yeah, and so I got to tell you, like, I got to tell you right now. There's a little bit of like a knuckle bite here is what I'm seeing across the frequencies, right? Because I feel like there was a lot of that energy during like the full moon in Cancer, like struggling with one's own ego, right? Being like, do it. Why? It'll be good for our healing journey. It'll be good for our healing journey. Why would it be good for our healing journey? It would feel good. It would feel good. But feeling good is not healing. That's not necessarily, no. like having to work through that, right? Having to feel that energetic struggle with the emotions, like, again, working through not just the emotions, but listening to what the emotions are asking for, right? Holding space for them, introspecting. And then again, holding the sense of compassion in giving others the space that they need to navigate their own emotions. Right? This is why sometimes when someone, like you recognize this, when we're in a space of healing and someone comes towards us with a lot of emotions that they can't necessarily explain why, we take a little bit of a step back, because again, that ability of helping someone see and recognize what feels like it is energetically restorative, right? Versus like what feels more like it's ego driven. Like I see a lot of that energy I keep on getting. Recognizing and identifying, finding new forms of compassion is also how we heal, because that is also a part of a maturation process, right? And so I see even now like a lot of facilitating upon that work. It's not easy, right? Because I just keep seeing, and this is happening across all of the frequencies, it's utilizing the strength of, I want to say, building into that space of feeling the sense of knowing, like following one's intention and letting it kind of guide oneself forward, right? Like everything I see even now is like the strength in the vulnerability. This is like a major lesson that is coming through, which is, again, it doesn't require, like, where's the strength is not found in being strong. Strength is found in, again, being energetically adaptable, like that silk to steel approach, if you will, right? This is, and that's happening across all of the frequencies. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Pentacles, our King of Swords in its reversal, right? And this is what we kept talking about with that idea or that aspect of a warrior, right? Because again, what if, I knew we were getting another ace out here. We got an Ace of Cups, right? Why is it warrior energy? We're going to come back to this again. Does a warrior long to fight? No. Warriors don't want to fight. Warrior is the honorific we give to someone who has fought. Warrior is the honorific to someone we know has navigated those lessons. When you've navigated an energetic lesson, are you eager to do the lesson again? No. Right? The healthy energetic warrior is one that recognizes that they have the strength to navigate a lesson, but they do everything they can to energetically avoid the ones that do not feel fundamentally strong for the self. Right? And that's why I keep seeing that for a lot of this energy right now, in separation, this is the energy that comes towards another and says, the gift that I give you is that, and this is why this is what is so fundamental between masculine and feminine right now, because I just want to show you. What is the masculine saying to feminine in the ability to see themselves? You have nothing to fear from me. You have nothing to fear from me. Not that I'm not terrifying when I can be, but I've done that work. I see myself because I recognize that the scariest thing for me to bring to you is not being aware of myself, because my blind spots can hurt you. You have been hurt by others' blind spots. So this is the masculine that says, I do this work in understanding myself, and I don't do it. I don't do it to find God. I don't do it to become amazing. I do it because this is how I love you. Because I understand that I do that work so that the love I give you feels like love. And that every time I'm able to see myself, what I say to you is, you have nothing to fear here. You have nothing to fear here. Because I have found those parts of me that you could be afraid of, and I have worked to navigate them. This is why when the masculine comes towards the feminine with that understanding of self, it is the greatest gift that masculine can offer the feminine. What does the feminine say to the masculine? Everything in my experience may have taught me not to trust. And yet here I am. Here I am. Here I am. And this is the feminine that says to masculine, my ability to trust is not the failure point. That the failure of trust is never a failure point. Discernment is. And this is the feminine that says, I will not allow myself to lose the ability to trust. I will always have compassion for the masculine that is doing that work, because when I say to myself, I can never trust again, I have lost faith in the ability of the masculine to heal. So this is the feminine that says, I will choose to trust time and time and time again. I will utilize discernment to identify whether that trust is being received as the gift that it is. But I will never stop choosing to trust, because this is how I love the masculine that I am seeking, right? While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is coming into divine union, this is the energy that's just feeling like this is, I'm telling you even now, all of that hermit energy that we were experiencing deep within divine union, now the energy coming into divine union's feeling it. I keep getting this energy saying like, it's awful quiet in here. But this is why, because often when we come into maturation processes, we can feel very isolated and alone, because we see things in a way that others don't necessarily see them. But what is this energy doing? This is, I told you, it's bittersweet. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of energy right now coming deeper into divine union is looking for energetic connections. Why are they looking for connections? Because they're looking for someone that sees things with the same perception that they do. While for masculine and feminine deep within divine union right now, this is just like alchemy. Take the negative, make it work. Make it work. It's not ideal. Never going to be ideal. Never ideal. Never ideal. But it's not about it being ideal. It's about what you do with what's not ideal. Right? We are ideal. Like when we don't experience ideal situations, we go, well, listen, I got some good news for you. We are going to be the ideal. Like we're going to be the ideal. We just got to make the ideal ourselves, right? Got to go home. I got to get some pans out. Got to go make some ideal right now. Continuing to get clarification between our King of Swords and its reversal in combination with our Strength card and its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. I told you, you like this courage? I made it myself. This is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right. God bless the Mars retrograde. Right? Mars left the room And is everyone, I'm so proud of everybody. Look at this. This is so nice. This is like Mars left the room and looked at everybody and said, you guys do not panic while I'm gone. And then Mars left the room and everyone started panicking. And then everyone was like, focus, get it together. like, it's more of that same, it's more of that same remembering that like, the courage we create for each other is the greatest act of compassion, right? Because I just keep seeing that a lot across the frequencies right now. This is the energy that says, I don't do this for me. Don't do this for me. I do this for you, right? That is the ultimate energetic act of love, right? The love that we create for one another. What, like the courage we find in that space. Like this is why we talk about the fact that the power of love is one that we find ourselves, because that ability of finding energetic courage, working into that space of strength, it's like, you know, like you have that moment, you navigate the fear, but when you love something, what's a little thing like fear? That old thing, right? It changes our relationship to how we navigate those spaces, right? We find bravery in the things that we hold and the things that we hold dear. And so I see even now like there's something really beautiful that's happening across the frequency in terms of being able to articulate and say that that feeling is not something that another can take from us, because it is something that we create for one another. And for masculine and feminine right now, like in separation, this is how they're finding themselves. This is this energy. I keep seeing the energy saying, I didn't expect to be here, but I'm glad to have found myself here, right? Because that is the energy that says, this is the gift that I give you. That sense or that space of saying, I create this courage for you. Like this is the gift that they're giving each other in separation. While for the energy coming into divine union, this is the energy that this is why these are the Capricorn partnerships that say to one another, as long as we focus on fixing something, we're never broken, right? You're only broken when you accept something to be broken. When you're constantly in a state of repair, everything can be fixed. Everything can be mended. And that's why a lot of this energy right here, like these fixer-upper Capricorn partnerships right now, building into that context and working along the way, right? This is the energy that like, you know, feels that confidence because they say we fixed it because it's ours. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, I just see that a lot of this energy right now, deep within divine union, is working into that space of making it work. Like this is the energy that says, making it work. I'm going to make it work. How you doing? I'm going to make it work, right? It's not ideal, but it's never ideal. We make it ideal, right? And this is the energy that says, if it's not ideal, then it just means that our work is cut out for us, right? Final card for today's spread between our Ace of Cups in combination with our Four of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Nine of Swords in its upright. So, and I got to tell you, even now, like a lot of this work that we're seeing here, like this is that heaviness, right? This is that anguish. This is the energetic fear that we talk towards, right? But again, why do we not like, the same message keeps on coming through. When we try to energetically avoid our fear, we run smack dab into it. like you ever try to avoid someone? You're like, I don't want to see that person. Boom, there they are. Because like a lot of that work, right? When we work into that space, what we're really doing is we're not moving with intentionality, right? Like when we navigate from a place of our anxiety and fear, we don't move through it. It can create those moments that are navigating the hurdles. And this is why I see that for so much of this energy and separation, a lot of the release that we're seeing with this like Capricorn full moon is letting go, is like the release. They're saying like the release of the anxiety, right? This is the energy that like fortifies themselves. Like this is why I keep saying that for a lot of that energy coming out of separate, moving towards one another out of separation, it feels like shadow work right now, right? Like feminine's like trust. I got to go back out there. That's where the trust got broken. Yep. Yep, got to go back. This is why it's warrior energy. It's like I got to go back out to battle. Like I got to go put my armor on. It's rough out there, right? But this is the energy the feminine says, I know my divine masculine's out there doing the same exact stuff. I know the masculine energy's out there having to doing like it's like what the work is, right? Masculine, same way. I gotta go out there. I gotta get ready for a lot of energetic rejection. I'm gonna be my authentic self. I'm not gonna be in that space of being people pleasing. I'm not just gonna try to put that part of self up to feminine to, bring them to me if they're not for me. It's gonna be awful. I can see the masculine going, it's gonna be awful. I hate it. I see the masculine like I'm gonna have to be my authentic self, and I hate it because I know that there's gonna be a lot of rejection. And masculine says, and it will, because the feminine that's for me will see that work in progress as a masterpiece. And the only way I find them is by navigating those that are not in alignment to me, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, this is like, I just keep hearing growing pains. Like a lot of this energy here, like this is the energy that says that when we go through a maturation process, it can feel painful because we move in the direction of what we know is best for us. But seeing the energy outside of ourselves, seeing the changes that occur, they're unavoidable, right? You find your heart, but it breaks in the process, because this is the energy that, like, when we're maturing, we recognize and we feel those changes within, and we understand the inevitability of that energetic journey, right? It's beautiful. But again, it's beautiful not because it's all just sunshine and rainbows, right? This is the energy that feels the weight, the gravitas of that energetic journey. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, a lot of this energy deep within divine union right now, I just see it's not ideal, but it's never ideal, right? And it's exhaustive, and it'll make you mad. It'll piss you off. Right? It'll fire you up. But then you put it somewhere that it's useful. Right? You put it in the space that like, again, this is the energy that says, like, even that frustration, right? Even that can be made into something beautiful if we keep our intention focused on creating that beauty, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now. So, a lot of this work that we're seeing, right now with the bottom of the deck, Emperor energy. So, and we're going to talk a little bit more about, like, that sense. Like, again, this is what I mean by something not being energetically ideal. Like, right? Because we want to talk about, like, the Emperor card is a beautiful card when we recognize that a healthy Emperor energy is one that looks towards the sense of being an energetic custodian, right? The Emperor energy in its beatific is as a custodian, someone who assumes a difficult, rigid position, not because they desire to, but because they recognize the full enormity of being able to create a sense of stability, right? When the Emperor energy, and that ability of doing so, like, right, there's a lot of energetic strength there. We feel a lot of security there. But, like, what often happens sometimes, and this is a lot of that conversation that we were having in relationality to manifestation goals, when we become so focused, so driven on something being the way that we desire it to be, we leave ourselves completely blind to all of the possibilities around us in terms of how something could be coming towards us, right? And this is why, like, when we talk about healthy manifestation, we don't say to ourselves, I want this, It's got to be this color. It's got to be this shape. It's got to be this and this and this and this and this, right? Like, because then the universe, what does the universe sit there and do? The universe sits there and goes, that's a shame, because I was like going to give you something like way cooler than that, because maybe I can think of something even cooler than you can think of. Right? Like when we have that moment, like you have to think about your manifestation goals, because what if the universe is just in there being like, oh, no, scratch that. No, scratch it. No. They said, they really want it like that. I know, it was going to be amazing, right? So that ability of recognizing like what's energetically, and when we move towards our manifestation goals, this is when we say we are working in harmony with the universe, right? Because we say like this is what we mean when we talk about praying. Help me out here. Like I'm out of ideas, right? Like we say, look, this is what I can do, right? Hey, you, listen to me. Look, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I can do. This is how I'm going to move it. I leave it up to you. You got to help me with the rest, right? You got to help me with the rest. Universe, are you listening? Look, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I can do to move towards it. But listen, I'm being kind of flex on some stuff, right? And the ability of recognizing what we're flexible upon, right? What we're flexible upon instead of focused on. This is how we find ourselves. Manifestations are not about getting stuff. Manifestations are understanding who you are. So let that kind of be an affirmation that we're taking from a lot of this Emperor energy. Remembering that a good manifestation isn't about what you get at the end of it. It's who you are as you move towards it. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, gracestrega.com. My private readings are done over video, and if you are a subscriber to my TikTok or a member over on the place we keep the videos, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber name at the point of payment. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading, it's a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a personal reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So I encourage you to do it there. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you. Guys, thank you to everyone who attended our strength class. We are going to have our next class tomorrow at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Hermit card. I am very excited to teach this card. The Hermit card is an absolutely intriguing, fascinating card. We're going to talk a bit about the history, the symbology. I'm going to walk you guys through all of the applications you can find of the Hermit in any direction it appears in your spreads. I'll also be presenting you a unique spread that is focused entirely on channeling the messages of the Hermit. And all you need to do if you would like to become a part of that class program is become a paid subscriber to my Substack, gracestrega.substack.com. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also have access to the full Tarot Church Library. That is over 9 hours worth of material that is available to you as a subscriber. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. It's a library. I call it a library for a reason. The material's there for you to take when you're ready to receive it. But and I will be giving a brief recap of everything that we've studied in our classes prior to beginning our next class. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we've studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. So thank you so much if you're already participating, and I look forward to seeing you at our class tomorrow. And if you are a subscriber to TikTok, make sure that you head over to our subscriber-only Discord channel, because there you will find a very special coupon code that will give you an additional discount to that Substack subscription. Even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there, especially with everything that's going on right now, to stay up to date on any new offerings, services. I post my weekly newsletter there that'll let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to any giveaway information. And also, I wanted to thank you guys. I finally wanted to let you guys know that on top of my standard on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients that are seeking a more personalized, educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason. Those classes are focused on whatever area of personal growth or spiritual development you are invested in learning more about. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. Also, I am now offering dream interpretation packages. Those are for my clients that are seeking to get deeper into the understanding the themes and symbology of your dreams. Those can be purchased on an individual level per dream, or if you would prefer to meet weekly, I would encourage you to keep a dream journal and we will assess the week's worth of dreams. You can purchase those dream packages over on my Linktree. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And we will do this again tomorrow.